Morning everybody, here we are at the Safuri 1 Aquaponics garden, and this is Safuri 1 because hopefully, once we understand what it's all about, there's a whole lot of land over there where we can put some more aquaponics. Anyway, for now, we've got one test bed. It equates to about 11 square metres of grow area. And here we're looking at a bunch of marigolds that were planted about 6 weeks ago as little seedlings that were only about that big. And now look at them, they've taken over the whole growing bed. This growing bed is about 2.4 metres long, and there is 2 of them. So essentially what we have is a flood and drain bunch of grow beds with a sump. This is the main sump here. You can see some of the water returning out of the fish tank. That's that one that's constantly flowing there. That's the fish tank. And then the one off to the left there, that pipe, that's from a raft bed and a small grow bed. And here we can see the flood and drain out of that gravel bed with the marigolds going for its life. And it's currently emptying in the draining phase. So what we have here essentially is gravel beds and raft beds. This is one of the gravel beds. You can see it going away quite well there. We've got water off the freshwater tank, which is right beside us here. That's the freshwater tank. We've had quite a lot of rain the last few weeks, so that's totally full, which is great. Hasn't been full for about 5 years. This one here is the mineralisation tank. That's where we make compost tea, and we did a load of compost tea about 2 days ago. And I always leave the air going in it, just to make sure it doesn't go septic or anaerobic. In other words, no air. So keep it going there. Here's our clarifier. You can see it's draining away quite well. This is on the back of the fish tank. That's the bottom of the clarifier down there. You can see it's quite a clear liquid. This whole system's only pretty new. Another little raft bed. So the raft bed is where you have water. Pull the raft up. You have water, you have a raft of plants floating on water. So there's the roots, look at those roots. That's the, oop, we've got one that's busted through the pot there. But they're all the roots from the chives. Then we've got the roots from the other plants all through here. So these chives, all these plants are less than a month old. These chives, going well. Some different types of greens, tatsoi. They're all looking a little bit yellow and so forth. I mean, yellow, they've got deficiency there. This is only a new system, it's only about 5 weeks old. That'd be iron deficiency most likely there. But as you can see, they're quite healthy. All started as seedlings. This was a kale seed we planted the other day. There's another one over the back there. One thing that hasn't done so well, and I'll have to figure out why, is the silver beet. Now these were all planted at the same time as the others, and look at them, they're all just, no, don't like it. So I'll have a look into silver beet, what the problem is there. So on top, underneath this raft bed, is the main fish tank. And here it is here. So the main fish tank, 1,000 litres, there's about 40 fingerlings in there of jade perch. Don't know where they are, but they come out for feeding time. There's the bottom of the tank down there, so you can see it's quite healthy, quite clear. We've got an emergency backup system there. There's the bilge pump, just sitting on the underside of the lid. And there's the water coming in. And it's got a little venturi just to throw a bit more extra air in. You can never have enough air. You can see the diffuser down there bubbling away underneath. It's really going well. So there's the pipes and everything that the raft bed above it and the fish tank sit in. Get fed by. Various lines. You can see the whole floor is got a whole lot of mulch down on the bottom. I don't like gravel, it's just hard to walk in, and all the pipes and things are under there. I can just dig them up whenever I feel like it and get a look at it. Here's a little mini grow bed. I'm going to use this as sort of an experimental one at some stage. These marigolds actually have been transplanted about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, because over there, in that spot there, was another grow bed, which is sitting over there on the ground at the moment. Problem being that we had 200 millimetres, or what's that, 8 inches of rain in one day about 3 weeks ago, and the main sump popped out of the ground. Well, it lifted, you can see it's there, we've got it down as far as we can back into level, but it's never going to go back quite straight. So we're going to leave it there as our own tribute to the event and a leaning tower of pizza, or Safuri as it goes. But anyway, there's a hole of concreting I did yesterday, just around the edge of the sump, because what happened in the sump is that the walls all caved in, and where that pipe is there, that skin fitting there, that just popped out, and basically this whole thing collapsed in on itself. Just all the walls fell into the centre. So that was because all this groundwater just filled up around the edge here. So what we've done is we've concreted all that in around the side there so the water can't get down there again and pop the thing out. And we've also shored it up. In other words, we've braced off those big pipes going across from one side to the other in both directions. So now the walls will stay out because they have to, because they've been pushed out, and the groundwater will not be able to backfill into there. And just for precaution, I've also dug a bit of a pipe in there so that water can drain out. And you can see that it was the emergency drain I dug a couple of weeks ago when it was pouring rain. Anyway, this does have an emergency backup system. If you have a look down in there, you saw the bilge pump in the fish tank. Down there's a bilge pump in the main pump as well. And that recirculates water up into the grow beds, because by accident we actually have a couple of fish down in the main sump here somewhere. It's about half a dozen of them, because when we first put the fish tank in, there's the fish tank up the other end there, you see the pipes down the side there, the water went into the sump, into the clarifier, and the fish with it, and then pump into this return here, because that water that's coming in from under the side there, that's the water out of the clarifier. So ended up with half a dozen fish in there. We've now put gutter guard around the pipes that draw the sludge off the bottom of the fish tank. So there's gutter guard everywhere on these pipes now, because we've got sumps everywhere. There's a raft bed here that I forgot to tell kids about. That's one of the raft beds. It's the main one, and there's its sump. And you can see there's some gutter guard stuff down in there around the pipes. And that's because I've put a couple of crayfish in each of the sumps just to eat any rubbish, so we don't get unnecessary build-up of ammonia sources. Although we do want ammonia, we don't want bacteria and stuff growing in the wrong places for the wrong reasons. So there's the sump for that little temporary bed. You can see it's also aerated down there. That's to protect the crayfish. I don't know if the crayfish is hidden at the moment. You might see his claws hanging out of the pipe. I've put a couple of pipes in there for each of them. So that's good. Let's have a look, see if we can see crayfish in this sump. Maybe if your eyes are better than mine, you can see them. You can see the aeration in there, a couple of pipes. So what happens with the emergency backup when the power goes out? There's a little special box in there made by Practical Aquaponics. You can get it off their website. Mine actually came with this whole system, which I bought from a lady. And basically when the power goes out, the emergency backup comes on and water returns. So here is the water returning here when the power goes off. And the same thing up in the fish tank, keep the fish tank water circulating when the aeration's out, because we've got a power outage or something. So there we are. Well, that's it for the moment. What I've got to do now is do some hard work. I've got to basically make a raft, because what's happened is that this sump lifted at this end and pushed that raft bed up in the air, and then I actually noticed that these bricks you see over here, see how I've got the concrete blocks stacked too high. Well, what happened is that these ones started falling in towards the sump here. So there was a major catastrophe about to happen, so I stopped it by taking all the gravel out, decommissioning the bed, and now what I've got to do is I've got to dig all this mulch away. Another good reason for having mulch, it's easy to get to. And then put the timbers on the bottom, then put the blocks on top of that, put these blocks on top of those, and then put the raft back on, the bed back on. So a bit of work to do, all that gravel's got to go in there as well. Not looking forward to that. Let's see how we go.